Hello children, good morning to you all. In this video children, I am going to detail page numbers 21 and 22. So children, in the previous video, you might be recalling that uh, the thief's brother came to the king's court for justice because the thief was killed. The thief was killed. He died. So his brother came for justice. And now let's see whether the thief's brother got the justice or not. And if yes, in what way? See the line given? When the merchant arrived. So, children, as soon as the merchant appeared, the king asked his name. So, actually, who was called first? The owner of the house, and the owner of the house was merchant, whose walls were broken and the thief had died. So, first of all, the merchant was called. So, when the merchant appeared, the king asked his name. Then the king asked him whether he was at home when the dead man, that is the thief, was burgling his house. Burgling meaning stealing, thieving his house. The merchant replied that he was at home, only the thief made a hole in the wall and entered his room, and when he was trying to go out, the wall fell down on him because it was weak. Then the king told the merchant that he was guilty, he did wrong. See children, whom did the whom did the king told whom did the king tell that the person was guilty? The merchant. The merchant was blamed. The merchant was said to be guilty. He has done the wrong thing. Now see children, there is a word given accused. Accused means charged. So who is the accused pleads guilty. Who is the accused person here? The merchant. Pleads means request. So the accused, the charged person, that is the merchant who was charged, he pleads, he requests for his guilt, that he is not wrong. And due to his weak wall, the thief died, and now he would be punished. The merchant would be punished. Actually, it was in the eyes of the king. Now, let's see next line. Lord, said the helpless merchant. For this, the merchant pleaded, requested in front of the king, requested that, my lord, it was not my fault. So he said that it was not the fault of the merchant. The wall was weak because the person who made the wall did not construct it properly, did not build it right in the right way. Hence, you should punish him. And further, he added that the wall was made during his father's time, when his father was alive. The person who built it was very, very old. He knew him as he lived nearby. Now, children, come to the next line. You can see a word is given, bricklayer, a person who lays the bricks and built the walls is a bricklayer. So the king sent his soldier. You can see the king sent out his messengers. Messengers means his soldiers to call the bricklayer who built the wall. They tied his hands and feet and brought him in the king's palace. So the bricklayer was called. He was brought in the king's court. Now come to the next line. You there, did you build this? Who asked this? The king. Then the king asked him that did he build the wall? And the bricklayer replied that yes, he did it. He replied positively. He said yes. Now come to the next line. What kind of a wall is this that you built? The king said that the man had built a weak wall. The wall fell on the poor thief's head and killed him. The bricklayer would be punished for this with death. Now you can see the word it is given here. Coming to the next paragraph, before the king could order the execution. What do you mean by execution, children? Execution means sentence of death, punishment of death. So who was given the punishment? Actually, in the beginning, the king ordered the merchant to be punished. But when the merchant claimed that he was not the guilty person, he was not to be blamed, but it was bricklayer, now the king decided to give punishment to the king. So let's see. Everyone is passing on the blame to one another person. So the king, whenever the king made a question query, each person went on passing the blaming from one person to another. So likewise, when the king was about to pass an order to execute the bricklayer, he requested the king to listen to him. He agreed that he did not make the wall properly. It was because of a girl who was roaming around, who was moving around in the street, and her anklets were making a jingling sound. Anklet, children, means the anklets which we wear around the ankle of the feet. So whenever she was coming and going, her jingling sound of the anklet distracted the mind of the bricklayer. The bricklayer was busy in making the wall, but whenever there was jingling sound of that dancing girl, it distracted his mind, diverted his concentration, and thus he made the weak wall. So, due to her anklet's jingle sound, he was not able to concentrate on his work and so built a weak wall. It was not his mistake, it was the fault of that dancing girl. The bricklayer added that he knew where this dancing girl lived. She should be punished instead of him. So bricklayer apologized. He said that it was not he, but it was the dancing girl who was to be punished. Coming to the next line, you are right. The case deepened. Now the case was becoming little deepened. It was becoming complicated. The king was satisfied with the bricklayer's explanation. He was convinced. He was agreed with him. He tells that this case is very complicated and will not be able to solve it so easily. He ordered his messengers to get the dancing girl. Now he sent his messengers to call the dancing girl. So let's see the next line given here. Yes, my lord, I remember it very well. Coming to the last line of page number 21. So the dancing girl had become an old woman and she was trembling. Trembling means shaking as she entered the court. Why she was trembling? Because she has become an old woman. So there were wrinkles, her body has also shrunk. So she was trembling. The king asked her that many years ago, was she dancing and roaming around in the lane while the bricklayer was constructing the wall? Her movement distracted the bricklayer. The dancing girl confirmed him. He told her that As she was roaming around with her anklets jingling, it distracted the bricklayer. Due to this, he could not do his work properly. He built a bad wall which fell on the thief and he was killed. It was because of her that the thief died and she should be punished with death. Now coming to page number 22. You can see the given. She thought for a minute and said. She thought for a minute and said. Who thought for a minute? The dancing girl. So the dancing girl transferred the blame onto another person. So she changed it. She had transferred the blaming, she blamed another person. She said that she was not roaming around in this lane again and again because she had to visit the goldsmith's shop. She had given some gold. Goldsmith means one who makes ornaments with gold. So she had given some gold to the goldsmith to make jewelry out of it. He was a dishonest person. The word for dishonest, it is given as scoundrel. Scoundrel means a dishonest person, not honest but a dishonest person. He was making excuses for not making her ornaments in time. He kept on asking her to come after some time. Due to this, she had to go to his house at least a dozen times. So, the dancing girl said that it was the fault of the goldsmith. So, now we have come to know that why the dancing girl was roaming in the lane. It was just because of the goldsmith. The goldsmith had told her to give the necklace, but the goldsmith has not made her ornaments in time because he was busy with some other ornaments. But the dancing girl kept coming and going many times because the goldsmith made him do so. The goldsmith said that now you will get, just wait for some few minutes, come little later. Likewise, the goldsmith made so many excuses. Coming to the next line, that was when this bricklayer saw me. So further, this dancing girl says that when the bricklayer saw her and got distracted, it was the fault of the goldsmith, because of whom she was roaming in the lane again and again. See, you can see the word given, damned. What do you mean by damned, children? Damned means it is used for cursing. It is a cursing word. So when you are angry, you curse some person. You put blamings on other person. So likewise, the dancing girl cursed the goldsmith who was responsible for this. Now let's see. Further, this dancing girl says that when the bricklayer saw her, he got distracted, and likewise, the girl has to keep roaming so many times. Now next, poor thing, she is absolutely right. Who said this? The king. Poor thing, you can see, children, she is absolutely right, thought the king. Now the king says that the poor dancing girl was totally right, absolutely right. He thought a lot and finally said that now they knew who the real culprit was. Culprit means the guilty person, the faulty person, the person who was wrong. He ordered to bring the goldsmith. Now the king, already the title is in the kingdom of fools. Children, you can think what kind of king this is. He is not applying his brain, he is not wise, he is not clever, he is not tactful, not intelligent, and without using his wit, he had ordered the goldsmith who was to be punished. Now, next line. The king's bailiff. Who is bailiff, children? Bailiff is a law officer who makes sure that the decision of a court are obeyed. So the bailiffs in the king's court went in search of the goldsmith and brought him to the court. Okay. The goldsmith was hiding inside his shop as he feared being arrested. So the goldsmith was hiding. The goldsmith was afraid. He was fearing. Why was he fearing? He thought that he would be arrested. So when he was brought in front of the king, he told his side of the story. Now it was the accusation. Accusations meaning charged. The person who was charged, accused. Now come to the last line of this page number. My lord, he said, I am a poor goldsmith. Now see what was the reply of the goldsmith. He said that the dancing girl was right. He made many excuses and made her visit his shop again and again. The goldsmith accepted it, but it was not his fault. He had an order from a rich merchant, and they had a wedding at their place and were in a hurry to get their order, and that is why the dancing girl's work was getting delayed. Now we have understood, children, why the goldsmith delayed the ornaments of that dancing girl. It was the goldsmith was busy in preparing the order of a rich merchant. The rich merchant had some wedding ceremony at his place, so he has ordered for making ornaments, and the goldsmith was busy in doing that. That's why he did not give time to that dancing girl, for which the dancing girl came again and again. Now come to the last line. Who is this rich merchant who kept you from? So the king asked the goldsmith to name the rich merchant. Okay. And that's what here it is given. Which made a mess of his world, which had now fallen on an innocent man and killed him. Can you name him? So that's all, children. Now I will continue the next pages in the next video. Till then, children, bye to you all. Thank you.